Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another patch note breakdown, and if I've done this correctly, I should be able to get this out by tonight, which means tomorrow is the patch, so you should have all the information for your games tomorrow. Again, don't know how big the patch is, we'll dive into it, give our opinions, but as always, we'll do the mini game that we start these. We might have a little read through this because it seems to be quite substantial, but have they nerfed any of the overpowered picks? Again, Kassadin is the one that we always kind of joke about, but I actually think there's a pretty big list of champions that I think are way too strong right now in League, you know? Kassadin, I think Vlad is even still questionable, Silas, Echo, there's a bunch, like, this, you know, there's a lot. And even, again, the way you either do it is you buff other champions to bring them on that level, or you nerf the overpowered stuff. Again, I'm fine if they want to buff things to bring it on those levels, but Riot notoriously doesn't really do that. So we'll see what it's like, but here's the highlights. No. Okay, so I'll be honest, literally none, maybe Graves, but basically none of what I would deem the overpowered picks right now are in the nerf slots. Again, Graves, if you don't know, in practically every single high rating game, he's in the game. You know, if he's open, one of the junglers is playing Graves. So that's fine. But what are they saying here? So I'll just say there, this patch, we wanted to try to make sure they're doing stuff right. We spent some long, dreary evenings in the cold room, huddled around a single cat. Well, they can't with social distancing, but anyway. But yeah, so they're just saying that they've spent a little bit longer, I guess, going into things. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, we've got some new skins: Astronaut Poppy, Astronaut Gnar, and Astronaut Bard. All look, to me, fantastic. Again, I play Poppy quite a bit at the moment. I think she's actually, again, underrated in the current meta, if to be honest. Like, if you think of a lot of the meta top laners, a lot of them have these, like, little dashes. Darius doesn't, but, like, Fiora, Camille even, like, Poppy's decent. Jax, even Aurelia. Poppy does deny quite a lot of them, and she can just fight, and she can kill stuff. And people are like, wait, Poppy can kill? Yes, she can, so that's not bad, right? So, first and foremost, the new Volibear is making it his way to live. I'll be honest, I think the rework is cool, but I think if they've not done much, and I'll be fully transparent, I have not looked if they've done any balance changes to him. When I played him a few times, I thought he was really weak. Incredibly weak, to be honest. He scales really well. So yeah, when he becomes an absolute monster of a tank with 3 items, yeah, he's really tanky. He scales amazingly well. In the early game, he doesn't seem very good at all. Like in top lane, where I did take him a couple times, couldn't win a trade. He obviously, with his sustain, when you're talking about trades, it's a small little trade, a small interaction. The problem with it is on Volibear, you're not buying lifesteal, right? Of just how the champion is. In top lane meta, it's very common for a lot of top laners to buy lifesteal first. So they get to lifesteal, you're on Volibear. For you to get lifesteal, you've got to W a target and then W it again. By the time you can go for the second W, the trade's already done. Like, you can't get the second W on somebody, and they've traded, let's say, equally with you, but then they're lifestealing and you're not. So that, I think, is a big problem with him. I'll be honest, I really missed his old passive more than probably anything else when I played him, because it just kind of felt like a big champion like him kind of needs, in a way, that regen, but maybe it's just how I felt initially. I do think jungling is where he's going to go, because that, you know, jungling sometimes can hide your early game weakness, hence why Karthus obviously has gone in the jungle the last couple of years. Mid lane, he's too vulnerable. In the jungle, he can kind of hide, get farm, and scale easier. And I think Volibear will be relatively the same thing, but obviously not like Karthus. He won't be an AP carry. He'll be, obviously, a utility tank, engager, and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see how he does, but I'm not expecting wonders, personally. Fiddlesticks. So they are doing stuff with him. What are they doing? Passive, Effigy, posing time increased. Abilities cast when posing as Effigy now terrify enemies. Wow, that's actually quite a big change. And W minion damage increased. So it used to do time before Effigy posing, which is like, again, like what, you put it down and then it gets in a pose. I don't know. I don't really know what that means, if I'm honest, but it's something to do with his passive wards that he has. His Q now, though, Brains. Fiddlesticks' abilities now terrify enemies if cast while he is posing as an effigy. So if he stands still, he can now terrify people in that way. And his W used to have 60% damage reduction to minions. It now only has 40% damage reduction to minions. I guess if someone played mid lane Fiddlesticks, this is probably a buff to that. But again, I don't think people play mid lane Fiddlesticks. But that is a buff if you're running into a lane just to push it or clear it. That is obviously quite handy. So Fiddlesticks, that's fine. I honestly think his damage is really high. Again, I've said before, his damage is good, but it's still Fiddle. If you know how to play against a Fiddlesticks, the old one, you know how to play against this new one. It's the same playstyle in mid to late game. He's going to be on the side looking for that big ultimate. And most of the time, you can kind of counter it or predict it. But every now and then, he'll get it. It's like, oh, snap, he killed everybody. So that's okay. Gangplank. So I got hyped when I did hear they're doing Gangplank changes. Yeah, not really. So they're saying base attack speed ratio increased. Oh, Pog, he's getting more attack speed. It used to be 0.658 a ratio. It is now 0.69. Yeah, that's a 0.01? No. Yeah, roughly buff. I don't know. Like that. What's the point? I don't know. And then also a bug fix to his keg. Gangplank's barrels no longer stack bonus sheen damage when chained. Yeah, that's a nerf buff because obviously you could stack sheens and like 3 barrels in a row, I think counted as 3 sheen buffs. It was like something like that, and that's now gone. So this is a buff to Gangplank, but in essence, Gangplank may feel weaker. So, but what they're saying here though, notably, this will also sharpen his Trinity Force spike from having that. I don't think so, but anyway, unless I'm misinterpreting this, I don't think there's any difference there. Graves, Q first shot damage ratio reduced. Yeah, so Graves, as I mentioned, he's in practically every single high rating game, picked or banned. I even play Graves jungle, very strong pick. First shot damage, also like when the Q initially goes out, it used to have a 1 bonus attack damage ratio. It now has a 0.8, so a 0.2 AD ratio nerf. There's a decent nerf. I think that's fine. I don't think that will be a big enough nerf that he'll go away. I think just Graves may have been slightly overtuned. Maybe he'll still be strong, but not as overtuned. But it's worth doing. Hecarim. Q base damage increased, minion damage reduction increased. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Occasionally people are playing Hecarim top. I'm not a big fan of it because I don't think it basically beats any meta top laner if played correctly. Like, if the Hecarim is running Teleport Ignite and does like a really weird bases back quickly, teleports in with Ignite and catches off a top laner off guard, sure, he can kill them. And maybe he can snowball off that. But if the top laner plays correctly, I don't think there's a meta top laner that should be that scared of Hecarim top. In essence, that's the problem. But this buff obviously will affect jungle and top lane. So the base damage of Q has gone up by 5 at rank 1 and by 15, 13 at rank 5. So it's small, but you have to remember this is a spammable ability. Like, it goes very fast with CDR, so it's a buff overall. And the minion damage reduction was 33.3. It's now 40%. Oh, so that's a nerf. It's a nerf, but it does more base damage. So it might equalize around rank 3, maybe, and then be a buff later, possibly. That's a bit weird. Again, a lot of these changes, I'm going to be honest, feel pointless, is my complete gut instinct. But anyway, Janna, W base damage decrease later. I don't think Janna's a big problem right now. I think Yuumi and Soraka, the healing ones, are actually the problem, or healing in general, I think, is the problem. Although we believe Battle Janna is her best approach in lane, yeah. Her harass in weathering her enemies is a little too well. So again, for those that don't know, the best way to play Janna is max W, and you go like slightly AP. It does so much damage, and you give your team utility anyway, and your shield scales with AP and stuff. Not full AP, obviously, but like, you know, maxing W does quite a lot of damage. So they're nerfing it by rank 2 onwards. Rank 1, it's the same, and rank 2, it's a 5 nerf, and by rank 5, it's a 20 damage nerf. That is quite considerable. But obviously, it's not insane, considering you're not playing Janna technically for damage. If you're playing a support for damage, you should be playing Brand or Pike. So I think it's fine. Again, I am a bit surprised that like Riot are nerfing Janna but leaving stuff like Yuumi and Soraka and stuff like that untouched. Or again, as I said, healing in general I think is a little bit out of control in League of Legends nowadays. We've spoken about it a few times when Morello was the lead designer or lead balance, whatever he was in the game. Healing was under control. You know, there's a reason that the anti-healing item in League of Legends is named after Morello, the designer, is he was notorious someone that didn't really like healing. He's now gone, he's working on other projects, and I think healing has slowly gotten crazy. So I don't think Janna is a priority nerf myself, but that's just me. Kai'Sa, presume these are buffs. Q bonus AD ratio increased, R range increased, yeah, double buffs. So her Q damage ratio was a 0.35 bonus attack damage, is now 0.4. Slight buff, it will affect you as an AD carry in the later stages of the game, here or there. And then her ultimate Killer Instinct, it is a... Whoa, that's quite big actually. So it's staying the same at rank 1. So at rank 2, you're getting a 250 extra range on your ultimate. And rank 3, level 16... a 500 range increase from what it was previously. That's considerable. That 500 range, if I'm not mistaken, like let's say Graves, I think Graves, I might be wrong here, but he might have a 525 auto attack range. So Kai'Sa's nearly gaining a whole auto attack range of some champions extra that she can jump around. That's pretty decent. That makes her more slippery. That makes her that she can engage and you can't get away from her as simple, like easy. So honestly, I think that's pretty good. And Kai'Sa, you know, she's here or there. She's not complete meta right now, but she is around. People are playing her occasionally, so that's good. And by the way, I like Kai'Sa. I think she is quite fun in the game in general. But yeah, Lux E2. So your second part of your E slow duration has been increased. So the slow duration used to be additional 0.25 seconds after damaged by the E. So when you get hit by it, you get slowed. It's now, whoa, that's a big buff. It's now a 1 second slow after you've got hit. So if Lux throws an E out, obviously you get slowed when you're just standing on the E. And when she detonates it, you used to be slowed for 0.25 seconds. You're now being slowed for 1 second. That's quite considerable. A 1 second slow, like that's a 4 times increase, you know? That's not bad at all. Damn. All right. Syndra. E cooldown increase. Yeah, a little bit too strong sometimes is Syndra. You know, there's the meme, press R to win champion. They're not nerfing the R, though. They're nerfing her E. It is a 16-second cooldown at rank 1 with a 12-second cooldown at rank 2. Then you obviously, as a mage, will generally have 40% cooldown reduction. It'll be around 7 to 8 seconds. That's pretty good. They're nerfing it that it's a 2-second nerf in all ranks. So instead of, let's say, 8 seconds at max rank, by the time you've got cooldown reduction, it's going to be 10 seconds. That does add up. You know, in a team fight, if a team fight lasts 15 seconds... Well, before Syndra might have been able to get 2 E's, maybe. Now, no. The team fight could have ended by the time her second E may come around. So that is quite considerable. Talon. Q cost increased. Heal on kill decreased early. So his mana for his Q has gone up by 10, which again, as a champion that has a relatively small mana pool, that's considerable. And if he gets a kill, he obviously heals a bit. That has been halved at rank 1. And obviously, I believe you can use that on minions. I think you can sustain off minions and stuff like that. So, yeah, not bad. It's a little nerf to a specific Talon playstyle. You can see here some high-rating Talons are maxing Q. Most obviously will max W. It's a nerf to that specific playstyle, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've encountered personally, but there's that. Marksman champion. So there's apparently in the community right now a lot of talk when it comes to AD carry. So I don't know if Riot is addressing that already. The Marksman class has major durability problems. Well, duh. Like, aren't they supposed to be squishy? Okay. Especially in the early laning phase where the power feels heavily reliant on their supports. Yes. This has been causing issues in gameplay satisfaction since Marksman strength relies on the length of the time they're alive. By increasing their mobility via items and base health, we feel that AD carries won't be punished so aggressively when they fall and will still have a chance to bounce back and unlock their power in fights. That being said, we've heard your concerns about the bot lane Marksman champions that can also solo lane like Lucian and Vayne. We're giving them separate set of changes, which you can find more details below. We're also omitted Corki, Kindred, Quinn, Senna, and Graves due to having their primary playstyle in other lanes. Interesting. So, again, there's been this massive discussion about it. I personally don't think AD carries are weak per se, right? I think the champions can do, like, for their job, their job, if you boil it down, is to deal damage, right? They deal damage. They can deal a lot of damage. The problem with them is, can they survive? That is more the issue. If there's assassins in the game, hell, even if there's tanks in the game, and they get on an AD carry, they will struggle. That's the point. But as, you know, the whole game and the dynamic should be, you know, when you're playing as a team, protect the AD carry. But with top lane meta slightly shifting to more bruisers and carries, well, now your top laner isn't really focusing on protecting the AD carry. You know, when it was like Ornn every game, then yeah, Ornn could protect the AD carry. But now it's Darius, Set, Camille, Riven, Fiora, carries. They're not interested in doing that. They want to carry. So goodbye AD carry. See you later, bud. And they get killed by the other bruiser or whatever on the enemy team. Or mages, obviously. Mages are in essence designed to kill AD carries too. So maybe, yeah, giving them a bit more survivability could be a good idea. But I'll say they have to be careful with it, man. If they already do a lot of damage. So if you take a lot of damage AD carry and make them really tanky or give them high survivability, well, then that's going to be the most overpowered role in the game. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do here. So Aphelios gains 30 base health more. That's, again, quite a lot just as a simple instant change. And his health is growth has gone up. Ashe gaining 40 health, 2 health growth. Caitlyn, in essence, 30 health, 2 health growth buff. Draven gaining 30 health as well. Ezreal 30 health, Jhin 30 health, and all of them are getting basically 2 health growth per level 2 increase. 30 health Jinx, 30 health, 30 health, 30 health, 30 health. So yeah, in essence, they're giving them 30 health. What does that 30 health in essence mean? I'm going to stop saying 30 health. They're going to be a bit tankier, and if you've ever played AD carry, and again, I've always said this before, like, oh, that 10 health buff or that 30 health buff, it doesn't make a difference. Well, it does. If you've ever played AD carry, and it's like, dude, I just died to the last ignite tick, or that one extra auto attack that the support did on me, I died. Having this health buff, you won't die now, right? That's the difference. You're a bit beefier, so before you would have died. Now you won't. That is the difference. So yeah, that definitely does help quite a bit. Lucian, Light Singer second shot critical is now 100% down, or used to be 75, is now 100%, so he crits more. That's a bit scary. And also they fixed the bug. Kalista, again, I hate the idea of Kalista top. Again, people know I don't like cheese strategies. Hell, Season 10 has been the cheesiest season, I think, in LoL history. Supports top, Kalista top. It's like, dude, can people just play normally, like skillfully? I don't know, but that's just me. So they're buffing Kalista, and a considerable buff, by the way. 4% targets max health at rank 1 buff. That's a lot, and that's an early game buff. It's the same in late game, and no mana costs her Sentinel anymore, the little ghosty thing that she can send out. Okay, Vayne, Tumble Basic attack damage bonus has gone up at 10% at rank 1 total attack damage, 10% buff at rank 1, 10% buff at rank 5, 10% buff overall for total attack damage. Again, that's not insane. You do have to remember Vayne as a champion doesn't get insane amounts of AD because she is a big attack speed champion, obviously. That's not insane, but it is still quite a considerable buff. And Tristana, her base attack speed ratio has gone up a little bit, but not a crazy amount. Items for AD carries, especially, obviously. Movement speed by 2% for Phantom Dancer on all the Zeal items. 2% extra movement speed. That's nice for AD carries. That's nice for other champions too. Yasuo's going to like that. You know, that's not bad. Runan's Hurricane is the fastest out of all the options, but I can't even remember the last time I saw someone buy Runan's. But that is the AD carry changes. I mean, I don't know if it's going to fix the problem, because it's not going to, 30 health buff with, let's say, 2 health growth, so by the time you're level 10, you might have an extra, 100 health, or like less than that, 20 health extra, so an extra 50 health by the time you're rank 10, or level 10. that's not going to stop a Syndra one-shotting you or Zed one-shotting you probably. So it's going to help a little bit, especially in lane phase, but not probably in mid to late game where AD carries can just get one shot if they miss position. But maybe it'll help. Cassiopeia is getting a VFX update. It looks pretty cool. I saw it on the PBE little changes. ARAM, don't really care. Nerfs for ARAM as well. Earth, don't really care. Bug fixes, again, there's probably, every now and then there are big bug fixes. I don't go through them too much though, if I'm honest. Feel free to go through it yourself. If there's a champion that you see, I play that champion, maybe you should read it. And then, yeah, the upcoming skins, which is pretty cool. But that is it. That is, in essence, the patch. Oh, and also we're getting chromas for the Honor Level 5 rewards too. But that is the patch. Again, what I will say, by the way, is this me or this number is jumping around? It's a bit weird. I'm a bit weirded out by some of the changes. Some of them seem literally pointless. And some of them, again, I feel are missing. I love Riot as a company. I like many of the employees. So I know people, I hope if any Rioters are watching, this is not a personal attack at Riot. But it does literally feel that sometimes the balance team is not playing the game. Because, yeah, there's so many problematic champions. When you're in Champions League, you're like, right, bans. You can't cover. Like, if both teams obviously are banning relatively the same champions, like, I always see Kassadin bans, I always see Yuumi bans, I'm seeing, like, there's always 3 or 4 open, you're like, oh, God, that got through. And I'd say there's a good 8, roughly, champions right now that are like, oh, God, please be banned. Or like, oh, God, hopefully my team gets it. Which feels quite like a lot. Normally, I'd say in League, there's maybe up to 5. That any given time, oh snap, they're strong, but they can just get banned out because there's 5 bans. I'd say there's probably 8 to 10 champions that you're a bit like, oh god, at the moment. And they're not getting touched at all. Like Graves a little bit, but that's not, that he's still going to be around. But I don't know, it just feels a little bit, a little bit weird in some places, I will say. But that's my opinion. You can agree with it, disagree with it. That's completely fine. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll be interested to know. But yeah, if you like these videos, big like on them does help. It goes a little bit extra. But I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoy. Good luck in the patch. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.